My name is Lauren, and I used to run a small YouTube channel where most of my time was spent unboxing stupid games and showing them off to my viewers. My best friend Kylie told me about how they were making quick cash doing makeup tutorials, and I thought to myself, sure, I could do that. Except not that, of course, because I'm not exactly beauty pageant material. Growing subscribers was harder than I expected. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my channel. Sometimes I would just talk, but that barely got any views. Then one day, I decided to do an unboxing of a simple little mystery box I ordered, and the views skyrocketed. Went from maybe 13 likes to 1,900 in a day. It was mind-blowing to me to think that anyone was really wasting their day watching me unbox a simple little box with a few knickknacks inside. But they were, and they loved it. And apparently, they wanted more of it. This is cool. I've always wondered what was in those boxes. You should do more videos like this. Try some of those weird boxes they advertise on Facebook. I see them on my thread all the time, and I always wonder if anyone is crazy enough to buy them. I would pay good money to see something crazy happen from those mystery boxes. I knew I had to think fast and jump on this trend before it became stale, so I went online and tried to find as many loot crates, mystery boxes, and other collectibles as I could. The next week, I had a dozen or so of them show up at my door. I started doing one per day and making sure I recorded my live reactions to whatever was inside. It was kind of fun, really, to never know what I was ordering and then be surprised as I opened it on camera for my viewers, except that it wasn't quite as entertaining as they had hoped for. Not gonna lie, this trend has gotten old fast. Snooze fest. Find something else to do. Those mystery boxes are boring compared to what I have seen on the dark web. Why not go shopping there? The last suggestion intrigued me. I'd heard different strange rumors about the dark web before, but had always been too scared to check it out. I was so sure it was nothing but bad luck and criminal activity, but apparently these users went and bought stuff off untraceable websites all the time with no consequences. I asked Kylie about it. Sure, I've done that before, but you just have to be careful where you're buying from, and what you're purchasing, and how. It sounded complicated, but Kylie explained how it worked. Most of the customers here want something in exchange for whatever it is they are offering, and I don't just mean your money. They expect a little bit more. Take this dude for example. He's asking for 2 nude photos and then he will send his software to the client, she said, pointing to a thread at random. Well, let's hope I don't have to do that, I teased as we searched for anything related to mystery boxes. This sounds interesting, but it says that they expect the contents of the box to be discovered live in front of an audience and not beforehand. Can you do that? Kylie asked. That's perfect. My live stream needs something weird for Saturday, I said. The transaction didn't take longer than 5 minutes, and according to the seller, the mystery box would be delivered in only 2 days. It was a narrow window, but I would make it work. It arrived as anticipated on my porch, a large rectangular black box with only my address on it. No return receipt. It was heavy. I had to get my dad to help me bring it in the house and take it to my room. What the hell did you order, Lauren? Feels like lifting weights for a gym, he complained as we slid it inside. Thanks for the help, Da, I said, closing the door and excitedly getting my camera ready. I had already teased my viewers with the mystery box the day before. As requested by you, my faithful viewers, straight from the dark web itself, this mystery box will be opened live tomorrow at 3:30 Central Time, I told them. And now it was time to prove it. First, I showed the box itself on camera, just to show that I didn't make this myself, I told the unseen audience. Then I cut into the box and eagerly reached my hand inside to take out the first item. It felt squishy and warm. I tensed up and pulled it out, trying to not panic as I realized it looked like a severed finger. Clearly someone has a sick sense of humor. Let's keep going, I said, putting it aside as I saw my views going up dramatically. The chat was on fire. Was that real? Wait, what was that? What else is in the box? Next was a small marker box like you might get from school supplies. Inside was a bundle of dark hair and a note. It looked like there were coordinates on the side. Not exactly sure what this is supposed to be, but it looks like whoever I ordered from decided this was going to be a horror show, I said with a nervous laugh as I opened the box wider. At the bottom of the box, there were crumpled up pieces of paper with scrawled writing on them, and a strange wrapped up object that looked like a ball of some kind. I was praying that was all it was, as I lifted it out of the box and saw that it was dripping blood. "I'm going to have to cut the feed," I told my viewers as I unwrapped the item. I was so sure it was a sliced off head, but to my relief, it was just a mannequin. However, it did resemble Kylie a little too closely. It made me reach for my phone and call her immediately. "Hey, was wondering when you were going to call. Your stuff came in the mail today. When are you going to come and pick it up?" she asked. I was trying to keep my composure as I raced out the door. "Kylie, tell me exactly what it is," I said as I turned around and realized I had forgotten my keys. My phone was blowing up with comments from the stream as I tried to not panic. "You want me to open it?" "Well, okay, hold on," she said. No, don't do that," I shouted, but she didn't respond. I was reading the comments and realized it was all from the same user. "Finish the items," the comment kept repeating. I looked down in the box and took out the crimped pieces of paper and realized it was some kind of code. I had to quickly unscramble as I heard Kylie come on the line again. "Never seen anything like this, Lauren. It looks like some kind of..." She trailed off as I managed to work out the puzzle. "Bomb! It's a bomb! Kylie, it's a bomb!" I shouted. As soon as I finished the sentence, I heard a loud boom on the other side of the line and my heart dropped. I ran out with the keys and raced to my friend's house to see if this was really what had happened. I didn't want to believe it until I saw it for myself. Sure enough, less than a block away, I saw fire trucks racing to her house. Her garage was a smoldering flame. My phone pinged over and over as I sat there in stunned silence. It would have been more entertaining on live stream. You failed the instructions. Then I saw more comments on the thread. "Wow, this chick is crazy. She just killed her friend. Have you seen the vid? I bet she manufactured that pipe bomb herself. There wasn't any damn dark web involved. That's one way to get 15 minutes of fame. Hope they lock her up." Then my dad called me. "Lauren, the cops are here to ask you a few questions. Have you heard about Kylie? Lauren?" I didn't respond. I was in too much shock. I just sat there paralyzed in fear as I watched my best friend's corpse being removed from the building. This was my fault. All my fault. I am not proud of the fact that I often go to the seediest corners of the internet to look for entertainment. Pirates Bay, Tor websites, dark web forums, all of this is my bread and butter. There are simply so many creative minds that find a way to bring me to levels of fun and interactivity I can't find elsewhere. There was one recent game, though, that was more complex than any I had ever seen simply by presentation alone. The developer called it Mannequin, and the ad hooked me instantly. "Most games promise immersion, but few deliver it. Our advanced artificial intelligence algorithm promises to make your life a part of the game by viewing your web history and piecing together a game tailored for you, made by your interests." It sounded phenomenal and groundbreaking, so I charged my PayPal and decided to give it a try. According to the software, it said it would need the next 10 hours to review my entire search history, and then the game would be ready. I figured that since I needed to sleep anyway, it would be a perfect way to start the weekend. When my alarm went off, it felt like I was stumbling out of bed. I slept harder than usual, I thought, as I looked around my dark room and tried to remember where my closet was at. Yeah, I had definitely slept too much because I immediately felt disoriented. I crossed the room to get dressed, my mind still a fog, when the lights behind me came on and I realized I was not alone. No, I don't have a roommate, but standing there in my doorway was a fully dressed man chowing down on a donut. "Morning, Mike. Are you ready to run the gauntlet?" they asked. It was then I realized that this wasn't my bedroom at all. It resembled some kind of prison cell with drab walls and bland sheets. My roommate was also apparently wearing a typical orange jumpsuit with a number stitched into it. My brain fumbled for a second before I realized this had to be part of the game, and I asked him, "Who are you? Where am I?" "Don't act all surprised, Mike. You're the one that downloaded this. You wanted this," he said as he led me down the corridor to a large auditorium. The larger room reminded me of some kind of gladiator's arena where below our feet I saw two people fighting each other tooth and nail. "This is just a bad dream, right? I mean, this can't be real," I said nervously as I looked above us and saw a constant stream of strange purple light. Was I inside the dark web itself? Some kind of
bizarre computer world? That was impossible, wasn't it? Look, I wish I had time to explain, but it's nearly year-round. Once you win, maybe you can get the answers you need, they told me. Suddenly, the floor beneath my feet gave way, and I slid down a long silver slide until I tumbled into the arena. My opponent looked like an equally confused middle-aged dude that had been given a scimitar to fight with. Above us, the klaxon alarm went off, and I ran to hide behind one of the large boulders, my heart pounding. Part of me wanted to believe this was some weird fever dream, but everything was happening so quickly I knew it had to be real. Somehow, the game had taken me here to this private arena as a contestant. It made me wonder who were the people making bets on our lives. A second later, another weapon dropped from the bridge above, a short, twisted dagger that I'm guessing had to be laced with some kind of poison. I ran to grab it and then faced my opponent as bravely as I could. I could tell they weren't the fighting type, but then again, neither was I. All of this felt new. It felt off to even be doing this at all. But I wasn't about to die here on the floor of this weird arena because of a stupid dark web game. So I gripped my blade as hard as I could and ran toward the man. As soon as the metal hit his chest, I saw his eyes bulge out and he gasped for breath. A loud cheer from an unseen crowd told me that I had won. Then several men in black uniform raced out to sedate me and separate me before I could check to see if the man I had attacked was actually dead. As the sedative took effect, I fell asleep and heard a few stray voices talk over me. This candidate has a lot more zest than the last few. He could be a good supplier, they said. Is the download complete? Almost. We will run the final test now. I felt a sharp prick behind my ear and woke with a start, back in my own normal room again. I went to check the download status of the game and discovered that the server was saying now that there was a system update. For some reason, that made me think maybe it really had been a bad dream. I went to work, bought groceries, and had a fairly normal day after that, all the while thinking about the strange dream and the realism of it. I was convincing myself that none of it had really happened. But when I got back home and checked online, I discovered all too quickly that was a misconception on my part. As it turned out, the game update was an exact replica of the events from my time in the arena. Now players across the globe could pay to play as me and relive the experience I just had killing that innocent man. I felt my stomach twist into knots as I realized the whole game was some sort of trap to make virtual reality a kill sport. And they had sent me a $1,000 check via PayPal for my silence. Your participation in the previous round of Mannequin was stellar. If you ever want to enjoy our experience again, please let us know, the message said. I knew they wanted me to walk away from all that with the money in hand, but I had too many questions. How had they been able to create such an authentic virtual world? And how did it affect people in reality? It seemed like a fever dream bleeding into life, and I needed to know more about it. So I came up with a half-brained scheme. I would rejoin Mannequin under an assumed name, and this time I would document everything that happened to me so I could figure out what they were up to. That night, I logged in and paid the fee. Then I went down to the local thrift store and bought a firearm. Something told me if they really were kidnapping their contestants during the night, I would need to be prepared. When I got back to my place, I pretended to go to sleep, listening to every sound to see if they were going to try anything. To be honest, I've never felt so paranoid in all of my life. When I was finally ready to let my guard down and try and get some shut-eye, I heard the shattering of glass. Instantly, I leapt up to fire at the intruders. Bullets flew through the air and struck the target, and I ran to turn on the lights and follow any other attackers. Except that it hadn't been an attacker at all. It was another player for this sick game, holding a recording camera and wearing that same weird jumpsuit. Immediately, I retrieved the flash drive and checked online. Mannequin had been streaming live. They were using the poor soul I just killed to show their subscribers a new attraction. Me. I got a new message from the website. Congratulations on my survival. You've really proven yourself to be quite a capable contestant, and we want to take things to the next level. How would you like to sign up for a full season with Mannequin? Something told me this wasn't a request. They were going to kidnap me and use me as one of their attractions for as long as they could. Made to be a puppet on a string, killing others just to stay alive. I don't think I can live like that. In fact, I know that I can't. So I'm leaving my home, my job, and any friends and family I have. I have to run to stay a step ahead of the developers of Mannequin. I know that they are going to track me, and they will keep coming until they either capture me or kill me. But I have stocked up enough weapons to last a while, and I know a thing or two about disappearing. So even though I'm terrified, I still want to play this out and come out on top. Here's hoping that I can.